Hi everybody, Dr. Heather here at Friedland Family Chiropractic and Nutrition, and I am here with Carrie, our functional health coach, and we are talking about probiotics.
Yes.
So I was telling Carrie before we got on, one of the reasons that I wanted to shoot that video is I never realized how confusing probiotics are. Kind of thought they were all the same until she started here, and then I figured out that probably 80% of us need just a standard probiotic, and there's 20% of us, maybe you, I don't know which group I'm in actually, who needs just something special that I know nothing about. So we thought we would hop on and shoot a video and talk about that. So can you teach me and them
Yes.
a little bit more?
I'm like confusing. What's confusing about probiotics?
Exactly.
But I am in that special group. Thank you. But first, I'll just start off by saying what probiotics are if you don't know. We all have bacteria in our gut, and we have good bacteria and we have bad bacteria. However, it should be, the majority should be good bacteria, obviously. So that's known as the micro. So over 80% of our immune system is in our gut. Many people. So it's really important that we have enough of that good health.
Can I just say something maybe for people who've never heard anything about probiotics?
Yes.
I think most people hear the word bacteria and always think bad. I think we've been so programmed by the Lysol commercial.
Yes.
Those things, right? To always think that if it has the word bacteria in it, it must be bad.
Yes.
But the understanding that there are good bacteria, there's good bacteria on your skin, there's good bacteria in your gut that we want to keep there.
We actually have more bacteria in our body than we have cells, which is kind of strange to think about.
Know that.
Yes.
There's 75 trillion cells in your body. Did
Yes.
you know that?
So there are trillions
Okay.
of bacteria also in our body. So we want to make sure that we keep that bacteria healthy and happy. And 50, 100 years ago, people didn't have to take probiotics, right? Because people then were eating fresh foods. They didn't have refrigerators then. They didn't have preservatives then. So they were
eating bacteria.
Eating bacteria in their foods that they were getting from good soil. Our soil now is not what it was then. Our soil is depleted. There's a lot of erosion that's happened. There's a lot of chemicals that have been added to our soil. So many times now, and we're also not fermenting our foods. Back then, they fermented foods to keep them good longer, right? To keep it usable longer. So many of us aren't using that fermentation process or eating fermented foods on a regular basis. Now, some of us enjoy kombucha or sauerkraut, fermented foods like that, but many do not. So
I'm going to interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
And maybe you've already got that on there. But I also think if people are like me, I took a ton of antibiotics when I was younger.
Yes.
I took antibiotics for ear infections on a very regular basis. I think I took a daily antibiotic for years for acne because they used to give everybody tetracycline for years and years and years. And I think that totally messed up my biome and my immune system in general.
Yeah, and you're not alone. I hear that a lot from clients. So the bacteria or the antibiotics, are not specific in what they kill. They kill the bad bacteria along with the good bacteria. So it's really important if you are taking antibiotics or if you have a history of taking antibiotics to supplement with a probiotic to, again, replenish that good bacteria in your body.
I have started to think of that. It's like if you went to your vegetable garden and you were going to try to kill weeds with Roundup, but you just sprayed the entire thing. Like the antibiotic doesn't know. It just wipes everything out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Back to our food supply now versus then, it's obviously much more processed. So now we're actually promoting a state where we're feeding the bad bacteria, and instead of feeding the good bacteria, we're actually promoting a state where many of us have more bad bacteria in our bodies than good bacteria, which can lead to all kinds of downstream effects. It can harm our immune system. We can have more inflammation from that, and it can promote a poor digestive system. So many people's digestive state improves with probiotics. Again, you were talking about being very specific. That's not the case with everybody. Some people have, I don't want to go into too many details here, but some people have
She wants to talk about poop.
I do. I love talking about poop.
We'll have a total poop talk another day.
Yes, there's a lot of gut issues that I can talk about. But there are certain states where people have too much bacteria in their small intestine. Most of your bacteria is supposed to be located in your large intestine. Some people have too much bacteria in your small intestine. So if it's a clue to me when I hear people tell me I take a probiotic and I feel worse.
Yes.
That's a sign that you should probably talk to
Okay, so
somebody
if
about
you
that.
take a probiotic and you feel worse, you're in that 20%.
Yes.
That should not just go buy a probiotic and take it. That you gotta
Yes.
have Carrie help you.
It's one of those things,
fine-tune
you know,
that.
Dr. Google, you look and see, what should I do? Oh, it says I should take a probiotic. I'll take a probiotic.
Right.
And I feel better. But some people are in that group that shouldn't be on a probiotic or should be on a very specialized probiotic.
And I have had people say that to me, that they
Yes.
felt worse, so they thought then maybe they should take more.
Yeah.
Now looking at that triggered something too, and we didn't talk about this before we got on, so I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but I'll have people tell me that when they're taking an antibiotic, then they'll eat yogurt in a replacement for a probiotic. And I know that does not, but it's something that I hear all the time.
Yeah. Well, and you probably know my feelings on yogurt. It's usually
I kind of don't.
it's-
So now I'm
well-
curious.
First of all, they're really processed products.
Oh, yes.
There's a lot of either sweeteners or artificial sugars in it, unless you're getting a very good.
So it doesn't count in the fermented food group for you?
Not to
most
me.
of them.
No, most of it's very, very processed. You mentioned this before the conversation. A lot of that bacteria is killed off in your stomach acid when you eat it.
Right. And it's loaded with sugar.
Yes.
If you don't know how Carrie, I do know how Carrie feels about sugar.
Yes, it is a big.
If you want to feed bad bacteria, eat sugar.
Yes, yes. And then even if the non-sugar variety still has a lot of artificial sweeteners,
Oh,
which
yes.
I'm not a big fan of either.
No.
So, anyways, a lot of that bacteria is killed off by your stomach acid.
Sure.
So that's why we were going to talk about our.
So let's talk about that real quick,
Mhm.
because in people, Dr. Amy laughs at me sometimes because
Yeah.
I say that probiotics are alive. That was something that I kind of thought about, but never totally thought about.
They're bugs.
They're alive.
Yes.
They're live bacteria.
They're supposed to be alive.
They're supposed to be.
There have been a lot of studies that have been done where they pull probiotics off the shelf and test them, and they're dead.
Yes.
And that angers me beyond belief that these companies are not testing, and they're taking your hard-earned money,
Mhm.
and they're just not doing the testing that they should do to make sure that these products are the quality that they should be. So that's why I've done a lot of research here on the
yes.
products that we use, and you're getting a good quality product at a decent price.
Yeah, and that was one of the things. I'll just show you. This is our probiotic. And one of the things I love about Designs for Health is their motto even is science first.
Yes.
And I almost feel like they over test some of their things in a good way. Like when they send us information at the bottom, I should have brought this sheet back. There's always a list about this long of all the references that they use. But one of the things about the Designs for Health probiotic is that it's kept in the refrigerator.
Yes.
So one of the things I learned through the studying just of how this one is made is the companies, I think, are required to test right after they make a probiotic. They have to test how many live bacteria there are.
They're not required.
They're not required. Okay, so, but you do see it on them. When you pull the one off the
They
shelf,
do
it'll say
yes.
blah, 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 million live cultures, right?
Mhm.
Which is impressive to me.
Yes.
Except then, so they make it, they test it, then it goes and sits in a warehouse that's 200 degrees, right?
Mhm.
How do you kill bacteria? You heat them up. That's why we wash our hands with hot water. That's why we wash our dishes with hot water, is because heat kills bacteria. Then you put it in a truck where it's in northern Illinois. It's either 120 degrees or 20 below zero, both of which are also going to kill those cultures.
Mhm.
Then it sits on the shelf at the store. Then it sits on the shelf at your house.
Yes.
So at that point, the likelihood of you getting any live bacteria, I think, is slim to none.
Yeah.
So like you said, you're basically taking something that's supposed to be alive, but now it's dead.
Right.
So one of the things that Designs for Health has done is they have tested how many live cultures there are after it goes through that whole process. It goes through the warehouse and the truck and the sitting on the shelf, because it's refrigerated at the warehouse. When it comes to us, it's in a refrigerated cooler bag.
Mhm.
So it's kept Well, in the summer it is. In the winter, it's it's all insulated, so it doesn't get too cold. And then we keep it in the refrigerator when it's here, and then you keep it in the refrigerator when you get it to your house.
Yeah, I have ordered probiotics through Amazon before years ago, and it says right on the product to keep refrigerated.
Keep refrigerated.
It did not come to me refrigerated
after it came out of a 120-degree truck.
Yes.
Right. When you think about it, it seems obvious.
Right. The other part of the science first and with the Designs for Health product is that these bacteria need to get to your large intestine. They need to get to your colon. That's where the majority of these good bacteria are supposed to get to. So they have taken the time to make sure that that's where these bacteria get to by putting a coating around the capsule, the what do you call it?
They call it a sphere.
A sphere. It's a little circle. So they put a coating around it, somewhat like an enteric coated aspirin. In your stomach, it's going to irritate your stomach. They put a coating around it so that it passes through the stomach acid and makes it to your large intestine, which is where it needs to be to have the effect.
Because your stomach is a harsh environment. I mean, it's supposed to do. We hear about stomach acid being a bad thing, but really in reality,
that's a topic for another
breaks
day.
your food into smaller pieces.
We need stomach
so
acid,
that your body can process it. The problem is when you're trying to get something live from your it all dies in your stomach. There again, you're throwing your money down the drain. There's no sense in doing that. So this is supposed to be timed so that as it goes through your stomach, as it hits your small intestine and then your large intestine, it really alive, because that at the end of the day is the name of the game, is getting live bacteria to your gut,
along with the right type of bacteria,
right one,
which is what we
that is another scary thing.
Yeah,
can we talk about that for a minute? Because some bacteria in them that you would never, they basically have the bad bacteria.
Some of them have too much, not bad bacteria necessarily, unless people have an overgrowth too much of a good thing, I guess.
This is why you asked Carrie about probiotics and not me. Yes. If you're in the 80%, I'll say take it. And when you come back and tell me it made your tummy hurt, I will have you go see Carrie.
For instance, some people with severe constipation do better with certain types of bacteria that have a certain balance of one bacteria over another. Certain women do better with certain bacteria that can help with their female health, for example. So, but most people, like you were talking, 80% do very well.
Yes,
with this one, which is what we've seen here in the
office.
We
have. But then we also are able to fine tune that. If somebody, the other benefit of Designs for Health supplements is, if for some reason you don't like them or they don't make you feel good, which we haven't had a lot of, you bring them back, we give you back your money. The beautiful thing about them is they give us our money back. So they totally stand behind their product and understand that not all products are going to work for everybody.
Oftentimes they'll give me suggestions when I tell
them.
They
do. It's a really great thing. We call them and say, this is a reaction somebody had. And they give us our money back and then, like Carrie said, help us figure out what's a better option for people. So we always want to know your questions. One of the things that we talk about every week is, what are we going to talk about? What does anybody want to know about? So when you watch this, type your questions in the comments, and we will shoot a video. If we don't know, we'll find out. We would love to do that. We're also working on, and I'm probably going to let the cat out of the bag, and then we're going to wish we hadn't said it, but we're working on some seminar or some webinars.
Oh, yes.
Yes, because we're doing some teaching next week. So if there's a particular webinar that you want us to do, we would love to talk about what you want us to talk about and not just what we want to talk about. Like
the ones we've already prepared.
Talk about poop.
Oh, yeah, like I thought you meant the ones we've already prepared for next week.
You're going to get the ones that we already prepared because they're already prepared.
Yes.
So Carrie's already done one on stress, which is going to be a good one, which I'm not going to get to see because we're teaching at the same place. Yes, and I'm doing one on brain health that has turned out to be super fascinating and taking me down some roads I didn't expect. So I'm excited. And Carrie won't get to see that one because she'll be in the other room teaching.
Tape it,
and tape it, and then you can see it. So we want your questions. Please let us know. We're here to help. That's why we show up every day. So everyone have an amazing day, and we will see you soon. Maybe we're supposed to talk about something else, so we're stuck.
Are we still on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. We are, I
All right.
think. What do you want to talk about?
Sure.
I'm going to keep clicking the button.
Talk
So
about Facebook Lives and how much we love them.
we do love them.
We do love
but
them.
I got a new,
Sometimes technology
we got new
works
fun
against us.
technology, and now, oh my goodness,
It doesn't want us. Oh yeah, we're still live.
it doesn't want us to go away. We talked for 15 minutes. Oh my goodness.
And still going
And
strong.
we're still going. And
Our screen froze.
it's stuck.
It's still on.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how to make it stop. I'm going to close Facebook, but then I'm afraid we're not going to be saved. And then only Mandy saw it, and she's gone
Here,
now.
click at the bottom here, save. Right here, see this?